So Besnik here, and today we're here with a video about raiding on console on Rust. The reason I made this is because we made a lot of mistakes, and I'm going to play some footage in the background. Probably goes against all the tips I'm going to tell you. Well, hopefully these 10 tips will help you not to make those mistakes. So here's the top 10 tips in no particular order. Tip 1, assess your target. Does it benefit you raiding it, and the cost of raiding that building? Is it going to give you a 1-up? Is it going to give you rockets? Is it going to progress you to that next stage? If the answer is no, it's probably not worth raiding. So this brings us on to tip 2. Do you have the means to raid it? Always have extra ammunition, explosives and rockets with you, depending on what stage you're at. So by this I mean, if you look online and it tells you need 4 to blow up a door, take 6 satchels. If it's rockets and it says it takes 5 to take down a wall, make sure you take 6 or 7 just to make sure. Tip 3, we're concentrating on your numbers now of your team. If there's one person, it doesn't mean you can't raid, it just means you've got to watch your back a bit more. If there's 2 of you, one of you can raid and one of you can cover the door. And if there's 3, which is the ideal number for me, 3 and up, one person can give a wide look around the area whilst you two do that inside the base, one raiding, one looking out, and then switch over. Okay, so tip 4 is building a fob nearby, so you have a spawn point, a place to store your loot as well. You can put the boxes in there. This saves a lot of time for you not having to spawn back at your base and then run over to keep on raiding. Also gives you a place to store those explosives so you're not carrying all of them at the same time. Also, sorry for those of you who don't know what a fob is, that's a forward operating base. It's just a small base nearby to store those goods. Tip 5 is probably the most overlooked point on this list here, and that is just scope the area out, make sure your surroundings. When you're attacking a base, make sure there's no guards or NPCs nearby, and also visibility. If you're attacking it day or night, make sure all your team members can see. This will cut down on friendly fire and avoid you getting killed whilst doing your raid. That brings us on to tip 6, and I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but try and raid offline. It makes it a hell of a lot easier. This is, you can see the name of somebody who's just killed you, know where their base is, you can go on the player list, make sure they're offline, and then raid it then. Tip 7 is being aware of traps. You can see auto turrets quite clearly normally around the bases, but also you can see like white smoke through the walls. Those are flamethrower turrets. Tip 8 is being aware of your volume. So when raiding, you can also use ammunition, so you can use explosive rounds to get through the doors. Although it's a little bit more expensive on resources, it's better to avoid those counter raids. This also brings us on to tip 9, which is be as quick as possible. This helps you stop getting counter raided and also prioritising your loot. Make sure you get guns, armour, sulphur, and preferably as well, if you can find them, more explosives to carry on your raid. If you can't find more explosives when raiding, that brings us on to tip 10, which is useful. Always been crafting more explosives. If you run out during a raid, there's nothing worse. So what you want to be doing is cooking sulphur throughout. That way, one of your team members can be making more explosives while you carry on the raid. That brings us to the end of the video with the top 10 tips. I'm sure most people will be aware of them, especially if you're a veteran player. If you do have any more tips, please leave them in the comments below so you can help new players out.